All right, a happy August 5th. Hopefully everyone is doing great. People in Southwest Florida like myself and up in Georgia, in South Carolina, hopefully everyone is doing okay with Hurricane Debbie that stormed through here yesterday and now is making its way up to the southeast. We are kind of in the dog days of certainly the NBA season. Certainly the Olympics is in full scale, but we do have a Lauri Markkanen certainly situation. I don't want to call it situation, but date coming up that will generate plenty of buzz. If you go on ESPN.com, Tim McMahon and I did a FAQ based on his situation in Utah, kind of what to expect next. When you look at his situation, so a little bit of kind of the behind the scenes for maybe people who haven't been following. I do enjoy social media. We put that article out today, and I enjoy, like, Golden State fans are annoyed that he's probably going to sign a renegotiation and extension, and now they'll probably hate the guy. I do find it pretty amazing. Same with the Lakers fans also here. But a little bit about Markkanen here. So part of a signing trade back in 2021, he signed this contract late in August, and this is kind of why it ties into why we're talking about an August 6th renegotiation, and we'll go through the whole specifics of what a reno is. So they do a signing trade in late August. Remember, free agency in 2021 didn't start until right around, I think it was maybe the 1st of August, because COVID pushed everything back. Remember, Milwaukee wins the championship. We had this mapping calendar. Basically, it was like doing it like a compass. You had to align certain dates here. That certainly comes into play right now. So he's part of this three-team sign-and trade involving Chicago, Portland, and Cleveland. Four for $67.5 million. He was a restricted free agent. Basically, Chicago let him walk for nothing. They got a lottery-protected first from Portland that will likely never get conveyed. That's a story for another time. But he's involved in the sign and trade. He goes to Cleveland, 4 for $67.5. Has a really nice first year with Cleveland, and then gets traded to Utah as part of the Donovan Mitchell blockbuster here, along with certainly Colin Sexton. We know about all the draft picks here. So now Markkanen becomes an all-star. He has outplayed his contract. In the article, we did a little bit of a poll, and the teams that I've talked to and the executives that I talked to have said non-first-round rookie scale contract. He has probably the best team, I won't say team-friendly, but probably one of the best value contracts out there. I don't blame him for signing it, doing the sign-and-trade, because there was nothing there at the time, but does the sign-and-trade, now is on basically an $18 million contract per year. And so that this year was partially guaranteed, which is amazing. He makes All-Star. He's basically a 50-40. He's basically a 50-90-40 guy. Certainly how you look at it from a stats standpoint, makes the All-Star game 2 years ago. And now, as of August 6th, which is Tuesday, August 6th, he is renegotiation eligible. He has been extension eligible since July 6th, okay? So there's two different dates as far as what you're looking at. You're looking at the extension part, which is 4 for 114, I believe his number is. Let me just pull it up here so we can, 4 for 113. So basically it's 140% off his $18 million number, and then you do the 8% raises. So he's eligible for 4 for 113. On top of another $18 million. So basically, when you add it all up, 5 for 131. That extension, if it was going to be signed, would have been signed on July 6th. That is if you thought the previous contract was team friendly, that's a team friendly contract. Basically, the $25 million first year extension is, I think it's like $22 million below the max for next year. That ain't happening. It would have happened already here. So now what we're talking about is renegotiation. Renegotiations are extremely rare. We have seen a little bit more of an uptick in the past, where basically if you are on a 4 or 5 year contract and you reach the 3rd year anniversary, then you are renegotiation eligible. Jonathan Isaac, for example, was renegotiation. Miles Turner, Jordan Clarkson. We saw Robert Covington back in 2017, where basically you are allowed to take, if you have, and there's more players than Markkanen that are renegotiation eligible. If you have cap space available, you can bump that player's contract the current year. So it's $18 million up to the maximum allowed with cap space here. So when you look at it, why is August 6th? And if we're doing the 30-year anniversary, he signed it August 28th. It's basically, we're going back to the mapping calendar here as far as how the NBA looks at it, is that August 6th is the date where he is eligible here. That's why you have seen Utah in this holding pattern here. It's fascinating, and I'm surprised more people have not picked this up. The Jazz, the only transactions that Utah has completed officially, their contracts are in the book, are Cody Williams, rookie contract, first round, and Isaiah Collier, first round rookie contract. Because those were counting against the cap anyway. There was already 120% hold against that. Both guys signed right off the bat. They went out and did the Russell Westbrook trade, took it back to Westbrook contract, $4 million north, basically do a buyout, $2 million hits the cap. They get cash back to basically offset the amount that was going to be owed to Westbrook here. And that's it. It was reported Drew Eubanks. It was reported Johnny Juzang. They still have not signed Kyle Filipowski here. So you're thinking the tea leaves indicate that basically Utah is waiting to get a Markkanen renegotiation done, and we'll go through the specifics here. Then use whatever cap space is remaining to maybe do a salary dump for a player and maybe get another draft pick back. And then once cap space is exhausted, they're going to re-sign Kyle Filipowski to the second round pick exception. Sign Drew Eubanks to the part of the $8 million room exception. Excuse me. They are going to use early bird rights on Johnny Juzang. That's what the tea leaves, and I said this last week on NBA Today, that's what the tea leaves indicates, is that Markkanen is going to get renegotiation and then extended. They are going to maybe go out and make a trade, exhaust that remaining room, and then use the room, second round, and early bird exception to go out and re-sign those three players that have been reported but have still not been re-signed. One of the rules is that you have to spend 90% of the salary cap, the minimum salary floor, by the first day of the regular season. If Utah wasn't doing a renegotiation and extension, then what are they sitting on those contracts for? And they're eventually going to have to get, let me pull up where Utah is exactly. Utah right now has $102.8 million. The minimum salary floor is like $126 and change. So you've got to spend $24 million just to get to the floor. Utah's going to do it. And that's why we've been talking all along why the likelihood is going to be in a Markkanen renegotiation where that $18 million number is going to, it could go up to $42 million. That's the maximum allowed. And then extend off that. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it here. When you look at, and I'm going to get to why August 6th is important also. You can extend them up to the $42 million. You can drop it down. You're allowed in a renegotiation and extension to decrease. This is the only way. This is the only scenario where you can decrease it down 40%. We saw that with Jonathan Isaac. We saw that with Miles Turner. So you could basically give a player a $24 million extra balloon payment with the caveat saying, okay, now we're going to get a team-friendly deal in years 1 to 4 of that extension. It can only be 4 years of an extension. Remember, extension rules total of 5 years, including what's left on the contract. When you look at it, one of the examples I put in there, bumping it up to 42 and then decreasing it down to 35 and then let it go back up. And you can go in the FAQ and you can look at the different examples here. So there's different ways that Utah can get to the floor, still have cap space available to go out and make a trade and still take care of Markkanen and then have him on a nice contract in years 1 to 4 that would start next year. So different variables as far as where we're looking at here. Why August 6th is important. Because if he signs the contract on August 6th, there's a 6-month restriction from when a player renegotiates his contract when he can be traded. August 6th lines up with February 6th, which is the trade deadline. Other outlets have reported this. Tim McMahon and I wrote about it. I would expect if there is going to be a deal done, which I do expect a deal done, that is going to happen. It is going to happen after August 6th here. I think you look at it from multiple sides. Would he be a trade asset if he signed on a 6th? Yes. But for 6 months, you are going to deal with, when is Markkanen going to be traded? What's going to happen on February 6th? A major league distraction for a player who's already been traded 3 times already, to basically hear his name being scuttered about when we get to December and we get to January. Who's trading for Markkanen on the February 6th? Everybody will have that circled, and it will be a major distraction. Maybe Utah shaves a little bit more as a concession there off of what he is renegotiation eligible. So a lot of different things to talk about there. Tim, we split up this article, and Tim certainly, Golden State has been mentioned a lot. A couple of things with Golden State, just to clear the airways. They're $533 million below the first apron. So if they trade for him, you're going to have to send out, $19 million in salary at least. Right now, we're talking about. Certainly certainly if he's making 42, then you're looking at, when we get to February, then you're looking at Wiggins, and you're looking at, certainly we've heard about Moses Moody. Listen, if you're Utah, and Utah put Brandon Podziemski and Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga and a first-round pick on the table, you're probably doing it, right? I'm just spitballing here. But what has been reported and what we've kind of dug around is that it doesn't make sense. Even if Jonathan Kuminga was available, because then you gotta extend Kuminga. And so whatever you're paying for Markkanen, now you got to pay for Kuminga. And I would rather have Markkanen than I would have Kuminga. Sorry, Warrior fans. So that's why the August 6th date is synonymous here, because of the 6-month restriction. So the likelihood scenario is that you're going to see some type of renegotiation and extension. The likelihood scenario is that it's going to come after August 6th. I don't blame Utah. I don't blame the player. Because as I said, it would alleviate a major league distraction here. So that's it. You can go find the article on ESPN.com. Hopefully everyone is doing great. Enjoy August. We have updated the CBA 101 that you'll be able to find on Sports Business Classroom. That will come out sometime in September. Working on just a lot of learning tools that we've been focused on. Had a great week of Sports Business Classroom, 138 people. Stay tuned for more events coming soon.